welcome everyone. Today we are going to take a look at 3 different Limbo builds since Limbo Prime is out. So we're going to get updated builds with new changes. First we're just going to go to a basic build. This one I like to call Stasis Duration. This is your regular build you're going to bring into most of the missions. Since now everybody can use any weapons inside of Stasis, what you're going to be doing mostly with this build is just casting Stasis, then casting Cataclysm, covering most of the area and having you and your team take care of everybody in there. Now this build, I did build it with Prime Continuity and Prime Flow. However, we can do it simply with regular Continuity and regular Flow. This way you don't need actually any Prime mods to build this, it's a very easy build to make. And we'll actually test it with this without Prime mods, just to show you. So let us spawn. Now we'll start with level 110 Corrupted Heavy Gunners. We'll simulate. All you need to do with this build is you cast your Cataclysm. Will cover most of the area. Cast your Stasis. Then you just run up to where the enemies are and take care of them. That's it. Keep an eye on your Stasis, because when it runs out, enemies will be able to attack you as well inside of the rift. However, all you have to do is bring weapons powerful enough to take care of the enemies and you're fine. Also, this is Limbo in Stasis, so you should be able to get a headshot on every enemy. If you cannot get a headshot on an enemy in Limbo Stasis, then you probably don't know what headshot is. We can of course just recast and keep doing damage there. Of course everybody in your team is going to join you in this, because one of the changes to Limbo was that now in Stasis you can use any weapon, melee, primary or secondary, so anybody in your team can use any weapons to take care of enemies. This is basic simple build. This is what you're going to be, as I said, using most of the time and helping your team out. Now, as I said, you can do it with just Continuity, regular and regular Flow. If you have Prime stuff, it's an easy upgrade. You can also mod forma this for another dash polarity. And there we go. Now you need Energy Siphon because you are going to be always casting your 4, and your 4 is most expensive. We do have Streamline to help out with that. However, as you will see, if you keep on doing it over and over again, you will run out of energy quickly. So the second build I'm going to show you is a slight modification of Stasis Duration. This one is built particularly to do a PoE Bounty farms. So you can solo rank 5 farm, highest rank farm with this build easily. So what happened here, you can see from the other build we have less energy, less efficiency, but more range. So you're going to be doing basically the same thing, except we have changed a couple of mods here. We gave a loot detector for plus 30 loot radar, as well as Thief Suite for plus 42. So when you get to those pesky, find those caches, these things will actually show on your minimap. After this, we'll actually attach a video of using a PoE Bounty farm Limbo to do a whole Bounty 5, and you can watch that after these builds. And the last build is a slightly more difficult to play. This is Into the Rift build, and we're playing with Rift Torrent. Now, Rift Torrent is affected by Power Strength. This is why we have Power Strength at 200. If you remove Rift Torrent when you're adapting a build, you don't need any of these mods. These 4 come in as a package for this build. So the reason we have it at 200, so Limbo will deal extra 60 damage to all enemies within when they cast Rift Surge. So therefore, if you have 5 enemies, right off the bat you're doing 300% damage, which is equivalent to a Rhino buff at 300%. So you also notice we sacrifice lots of range here. We use Narrow-Minded at 5. That is because this build can also be used if you run into nullifiers. You want your Cataclysm, if you're using it, to be smaller. This way the nullifier bubble will not cancel it. So let's show how this works. And let's see what this build can do. we are going to simulate 10 corrupted heavy gunners at enemy level 155. Now into the Rift build, the way it's different than Stasis build is that after you cast your Stasis, you're not going to cast Cataclysm to bring enemies into the Rift. You will just use your Banish. Once you use your Banish, you cast your Rift Torrent to increase the damage and take care of all the enemies in a Rift. Now, you honestly don't really need more damage, since now you can bring any weapon and use it inside of the Stasis. That was one of the changes. Damage isn't that much of an issue, however, time is an issue. Stasis now is 50% less duration, so because you have to recast it, you want to make sure to kill enemies inside of the Rift as fast as possible, because each time you kill an enemy you get energy back. And also you gotta be mindful now of Stasis Duration. With this build it gives you approximately 30 seconds, just keep that in mind. And as I said, with Rift Torrent it should not be an issue to clear enemies in 30 seconds. Of course, when there is only one, damage bonus is not that high. And there we go. I think that is all of them. So your Cataclysm is a bit expensive for this build, and you also might need to use it, let's say, to keep it on a side to protect a defense or mobile defense target. You can use Cataclysm also to help out your teammate if someone's getting revived, or to shield them from heavy damage from like bombards, for example. You can also use them same way as Stasis Clism, but it's going to be much smaller. And maybe if you just have a heavy unit, you can take care of it. However, remember, when you walk inside, you come out, you need to do your dash again, because as soon as you come out of Cataclysm, you are out of the Rift, and you become vulnerable. So for this build, just remember, always try to stay in a Rift and pull any enemy that you need in the Rift, and keep an eye on Stasis. Now, as I said, with this build, if you decide to remove Rift Torrent, you can freely remove all of these 4 mods. The only reason we have our strength is to get Rift Torrent up to plus 60 instead of plus 30. And basically once you remove this, what you're going to end up doing is making a version of this, because you really don't need any strength aside from any build that has Rift Torrent. Also, the good thing about Rift Torrent, you can combine it really well with Arcanes. I was using Arcane Range in this one. A 10% chance for plus 120 damage to rifles for 16 seconds. And Arcane Consequence on a headshot, which, as I said, mentioned before, with Limbo, you can always get a headshot. On a headshot, 100% chance for 40 per core velocity for 12 seconds. It combines with many different arcanes. You can use the ones for melee, ones for pistols, whatever you need. With PoE Bounty farm, I just use a little bit of survivability ones in the case you get caught. And Stasis Clism, or Guardians, both, because you want slightly more tankiness. And also, just remember one thing for PoE Bounty farm, you don't need energy, because you can do this. As soon as you go into your Rift, get into Operator, travel to the next mission of Bounty, come back from the next mission of Bounty, go back into your frame, and you see, it's still gaining energy. As long as you're in a Rift, you'll be constantly gaining energy. Okay, now we're going to go into a video of using PoE Bounty farm for Limbo, and we'll go through Bounty 5 solo. Do a solo level 5 bounty, and just do a playthrough. Hey Kanzu, what's going on? So this is level 40 to 60, find a hidden artifact. And let's see how this build does.
The Quills are at it again, telling me an important Orican relic is being unearthed by the Grineer. The Quills would like this relic back, and I would like to keep the Quills happy. Will you oblige?
Of course, Kanzu. We'll do it just for you, buddy. Alright, it is night, so it might be slightly more difficult, but still, this is no problems for the Limbo PoE Bounty farm.
Details about this relic and its whereabouts are scarce. I need you to do some digging. The Grineer have been using
There we go.
subsurface scans of the plains. Hijack one for me.
Locate the fallen drone. This is pretty much the mission that becomes trivial with Limbo here.
The drone is nearby. Find it and hack it.
So once you hack the drone, just show up here, hack the drone. You just cast Banish.
That's it. The drone is under our
And yeah,
control.
that's it.
Spread it to the
They
external.
cannot hurt it, they cannot do anything to it. You just run behind it, follow, and once Banish expires, you recast it. If you have the other members of the team in a group, they can just go fishing, on mining, or whatever they need to
Don't
do.
let them harm the drone.
You just run behind the drone, recast Banish. That's it. You can see on the top left, hack drone, shields and health, nothing is being touched. This marker here says how far drone still has to go. Usually we'll have to cast it about twice. Sometimes you will get lucky and only once because it'll be very close. However, terrain like this
They're sending another wave to take out the drone.
makes it kind of go longer. So once you get to about 3 seconds, you can jump out of your rift, recast Banish. There you go. Now you just sit there and wait for the first part of the mission to be complete. And there it is.
They're sending another wave to take out the drone.
The easiest part.
The drone had a complete imprint of the relic.
And of course nobody can even touch you because you are inside of the rift. Okay. Fake Lotus, show us the next one.
Ostron miner who was captured
Mine
by
prisoner.
Grineer. Bring him home.
We are using our operator to travel a little faster.
There's the captive. Take out the guards, but be warned. The prisoner has been strapped with a bomb collar.
This of course you can do with Stasis.
Detonation. You've been detected. Hurry up and free the prisoner before that collar explodes. The guards are down. Defuse the collar.
So all you have to do now is get the prisoner, defuse the bomb. Cannot be in a rift, by the way. You just use ciphers, makes it easier.
You freed the prisoner.
And
Escort them to safety.
you banish them. Same thing as you did with the drone. You banish, you run towards the marker because at this point you have to move towards here. Just stand there, the prisoner will show up, and no one can touch him.
Thanks to that
And that's it.
we have new leads on the relic's location.
And this is Bounty 5, the hardest one. First two right here, completely trivial.
At my waypoint, you'll find the commander responsible for taking the relic.
Assassination target. So, drawing out assassination target, obviously we're going to do the same thing. Cast your Stasis, cast your Cataclysm. You can use whichever weapon, melee,
Next,
or primary.
to take control of it.
This one we just have to draw out our main target. So you can use whatever you need. This one's better with the melee. Got 6 out of 15, a couple more enemies. Some here. I wonder if lure counts. Oh. Okay, so Stasis has stopped. Recast Stasis. Once again, it makes it all trivial. Oh, there's some enemies right there. One more.
That's it. The
There we go.
targets come out for a fight. Make it their last.
Now this one's gonna be a flying target.
With that commander eliminated,
And that's it.
we're much safer. But we still need to
Barely anybody can touch you. You can just put stasis, do whatever you want to them. 3 missions.
quick. The Grenier archaeologist who uncovered
Capture
the
target.
relic is on the move.
There we go.
Bring them in.
Even easier. We can figure out where it is. It says we're going towards it, but I have a feeling this is going to be on the other side of the map. Yeah, sometimes the bounties will actually separate the little mission parts very far. I'm not using my Arcwing deployer just to save them, since Operator does a very good job getting me there.
The officer is nearby. Track them down.
Okay, locate a capture target.
There's the officer. Capture them.
And remember, when you're capturing the target, you can do it out of a rift as well. This way nobody can touch you as you're standing over here capturing. Stand right here, nothing.
Interrogation complete. We have new leads to investigate.
New leads? Excellent, Lotus. Where do we go now?
They're trying to hide the relics in the hopes we'll forget about it and call the search off. Search the caches near my waypoint to recover it.
So it's a cache search. This is one of the reasons why we do a different PoE Bounty farm build.
Supply caches, but I am able to pinpoint.
So we are now just going to go
Search them all out.
into the rift, and we're going to basically use our loot radar to get to every single point that there is a little square on the minimap and explore it. Now, you don't really have to go in there and fight anybody for this one. You will just jump out whenever you see the caches. So over here, see that this one is just Grogdul. However, it is showing that there is something further up there. So let's go and check that. Yep. See, right on top. This one would have been hard to find if you actually didn't have any loot radar. So for these ones, just jump out, get them open, go back.
You found one of the caches.
So now we continue on. See those little squares next to the water? I usually just like to keep to the edge of the yellow circle. So this way you get kind of a clean sweep. So there is one apparently somewhere here. See, there we go. It's the loot radar that allows us also to get this one. Just open it up.
That's it. Only one more to go.
And just keep going to the edges. See over here, there's another little square. In this case, this is Grogdal. You want to make sure you just go there destroyed. Over here. Looks like it's just that. Sometimes it will be in caves. Okay, so over here we're getting a whole bunch of signals. This one is irradiated, so we can just collect it so we get rid of the signal. Now over here, it shows all bunch. However, it looks like they actually might be inside of a cave, since we are passing through here and seeing none. Okay, so let's check inside. We still got 2 minutes left, plenty of time. Unless I'm wrong about cave, then this might be an issue. Over here. There is a whole bunch of signals here, and there we go.
That's the last cache.
And that's it.
Ah, there it is.
We have completed all 5 bounties. The hardest level, solo, with Limbo, no issues at all. A couple of the missions, such as save the rescue target, or the one that requires you to go in there and hack the drone, they're actually pretty trivial and easy. For the other ones, all you have to do is have a decent timing when you get in and out of a rift, so you don't actually get hit when you're opening the caches or anything like that. That's it. No, this is not the way out. Well, now all we have to do is find a way out and finish the mission. There we go. We are going to get an Arcwing deployed, and you can just go into Arcwing by getting out of the rift in the same motion. So this way you don't spend too much trying to get into an Arcwing and get damaged. Of course, use Itzel if you're using PoE Arcwing deployers. Itzel's one speeds you up a lot. It's not really necessary if you have a good operator waybounds. And there it is. Limbo's PoE Bounty farm solo. Not even one's down, and everything is completed. And this concludes our Limbo video builds. If you like the builds, click like or click subscribe. If you want to see more builds or more advanced builds or any other builds, please leave a comment and let us know what you think. And you can always find us live on twitch.tv/newsbank for live stream. Thank you very much, and I'll see you soon on stream.